I heard backstage she went honey nut loops and I flipping rate her cause go man. Because at the end of the day, when she goes backstage, I'm telling you they're all gonna kiss up to her. So why not just give her that airtime, fam? Like, what is it not gonna do you any harm?
Travis J, comedian. We're gonna be featuring on the debates today.
Shout.
So this week we had the famous Brit Awards that Wretch was nominated for.
I like the Brits, man. I rate the Brits. They're out here. I love the Brits, big man. I love them.
That's not what you were saying on camera.
Whoa. Don't try to rub me out. Brits, I'm out here for you. I love the Brits.
What do you think about Adele?
She's a bad girl. This is why I love. She was born in the hood. So in them 5 years she spent in Tottenham, that came through on camera. I'm trying to cut that out. Middle finger, beard. What do you mean? Spend 5 minutes there. Different type of
I think that was out of I would have rather seen Adele give her speech than watch Blur screeching, bursting my eardrums.
They should never have cut Adele's speech for Blur. Blur. Not even Oasis, you know. Not even them Gallagher brothers. Blur. That deserved to flip the bird. Sorry, Adele, I rate you. I ain't even from Tottenham and I ain't even out here for the Brits. Forget you, poet.
What about if you were actually the executive producer of that show and you were like, oh shit, this speech is running over time, what would you have done? I'm saying it's right.
You cut down Blur's time. It's like,
do you know what?
You had 10 minutes in now got 5.
If I was an exec of that show, a producer of that show, whatever, and I said to Adele, you know what, you've got 30 fucking seconds for that speech, but just know, if you run over that time, I'm gonna cut you off. But then she ran over her time, what the fuck do you expect me to do?
I understand how award shows work in the sense that they have a schedule and they have to stick to that. However, I would have preferred for Adele to have her moment and to say her speech rather than hearing Blur, because when I heard Blur, I just heard a bunch of screaming and it just made me think, how did they get away with this so much in the 1990s?
You should have said to them, like, got a limited amount of time on site.
But how do you know they haven't said that though?
They would have.
I don't, but you know what? Really and truly, Adele has outsold so much people, yeah. So therefore, the vast population, boom. That's what I'm saying to you. I know the vast majority of the people watching the Brits wanted to see Adele talk.
Yeah, they did do a good show this year. But what I will say is that they definitely 100% should not have cut off Adele. I don't know who said cut, but I think they might have got the sack.
I heard backstage she went honey nut loops and I flipping rate her cause go man. Because at the end of the day, when she goes backstage, I'm telling you they're all gonna kiss up to her. So why not just give her that airtime, fam? Like, what is it not gonna do you any harm? Do you know what? It's upsetting to know that they cut Adele, but obviously they had their reasons and so on and so forth. But I'm a big Adele fan, so I really wanted to hear everything she had to say. I remember her performance last year, and she done I'll find someone like you, and I've no disrespect, no homo, I proper cried. Like I thought it was wonderful. Like obviously I bought the album, the version she done was a little bit different.
I definitely think it's disrespectful. I am just like this though. I don't know the reasons for it, so I don't really want to be jumping on the dicks.
I thought it was disgusting how they cut her off, but I do kind of agree with Teeth in a way. It's like, you know, if they've got certain time limits and they have to have another band perform at the end and there's only 8 minutes left, you kind of have to do what you have to do to be able to make sure that this band gets their time. But personally, I would have preferred to see Adele speak than listen to Blur.
I don't give a damn about the reason for, fam. Like I just give a bang out.
No, it's not a thing where she started talking and they were like, right, cut her. It was just a thing where they had a plan and it must have run a bit late for performances or whatnot.
I rate her for sticking the middle finger up. I like that shit. You got a problem, I'm gonna let you know I got a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go around to the papers or look, Adele, you cut my speeches off.
I was really disappointed with the really shoddy tribute that was supposedly given to Amy and Whitney. A couple of pictures on the wall.
That was kind of weak in my opinion. Just a couple of pictures on the slideshow and you're reading your little paper. I don't think that was enough. Like compare it to the Grammy celebration. Fair enough, she was bigger in America. But once you're that big, you're global. Whitney and Amy Winehouse, they were global. They deserve more. That's why I didn't rate that.
I think it's really disgusting. You could have done better than that.
But here's what I'm saying to you, see the Brits, I reckon the Brits are planned way in advance, you know. So obviously they had to accommodate the situation. So I'm not even gonna get onto them too much about that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, Amy died ages ago.
I'm out for
No, I just thought they could, if they really wanted to, they could have pulled the Grammys. They had a limited amount of time as well to do a little something for Whitney. So if they can do it, I don't see what the problem is there with the Brits. They actually announced that they were going to do a tribute. So my thing is this, when I hear tribute, I'm thinking, okay, so maybe they've got some performers together and they're going to put together maybe a little medley or something just special to kind of commemorate these two amazing singers who, especially Whitney, kind of just changed the face of vocalists. People still now are trying to come up to what Whitney was and what Whitney contributed to music.
Well, I'm out here for the Brits. I am out here for the Brits. Hold tight, Mitch and Suave at the Brits.
Yeah, hold tight to them, but still, that was shoddy.
At the end of the day, you know it's so difficult with a tribute. Like, I mean, who's determining the right or wrong way of doing it? At the end of the day, as long as you pay homage and people are aware there was some type of tribute, obviously, anything you do can be better. But the fact that they paid homage, and I keep spitting when I talk, it's due to alcohol. I'm so sorry. He's right. You know, I commemorate the Brits for doing that.
If someone's not complaining about something, I'm always like, what would you have done?
I can't answer that because I would need to.
I would have. I'll tell you what I would have done. I would have got the biggest artists within the country or up and coming artists within the country to sing a song to pay tribute to them, and I think that would have been a really nice send off.
But the problem would have been then though. It would have been like a select group of people would have been like got the wrong artist, so there's been another uproar of that.
If you that passed away, like Whitney Houston, she's a legend. So she in her later years, yeah, she may not appeal to a younger audience. If you get someone that's young and hot singing a Whitney Houston song, do you know what happens? That younger audience begins to appreciate a legend.
Especially coming from the UK as well.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Really nice.
Also, it's the Brits, so not to say there shouldn't have been a tribute to her, but obviously it's a British ceremony. The fact that there wasn't a proper tribute to Amy Winehouse was like, I found it unbelievable.
For the Brits, I'm out here. I love that.
Some 13-year-old boy from London did a Whitney Houston song. Oh my days! You know what? If I could have closed my eyes, I might have thought it was her.
But if I'm honest, I disagree. I think they should have got an actual, credible, old school UK soul artist.
They could have had someone come and sing. It don't really matter who. There's not a thing of where they could look for soul singers here and there. Adele could have sung the Whitney tune, and it would have been yo. You know what? That's a tribute. They didn't do enough, in my opinion.
They could have Alicia Paris. They could have Beverly Knight. They could have a bag of people.
This proves my point. This proves my fucking point. Within a room of like 6 people, 7 including cameraman, we couldn't come up with one person that we all agree on. So that's my point. And based on like,
we could have had those all together. We've been like 6 people just mentioned a couple of names already. If you've got a whole group of people who are ahead of the Brits, you're trying to tell me that not one person could have thought, you know what? Let's give this person a call. Let's see if they're down to do that. Let's do this. They could have done that. I'm not saying that.
But the problem is,
however,
I
just feel like a couple of pictures
would have done because they know fuck all about soul music. They would have gone and got someone like Cher Lloyd to have done a tribute to it and then pissed everybody off.
I would have preferred the pictures on the wall.
I don't give a shit. I don't want to mean offensively. Like, I was in cool. Like, Whitney Houston was a great singer, and so was Amy Winehouse. But for me, it's like, look, man, I'm not a dick rider. Because everyone else is upset, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be upset.
Do you think that's what it is that whoever was doing it didn't quite know what would be the best thing to do, so they just didn't do it?
It's the fact that they did nothing. That's why everyone's so mad.
This isn't America where they have a long-standing understanding within mainstream culture of black or urban music. This is the Brits where it's very new to them. It's very new to be having black artists and urban artists that are being nominated at the Brits. That didn't happen before. So of course the people at Planet didn't have a fucking clue. That's why Wretch wasn't nominated. The whole thing with Whitney and Amy and you know, Wretch not being nominated, all the things that we complain about as fans of hip hop and grime and R&B and soul music, we really need to understand that this is new for the Brits. Like, they are clueless to our music. They don't understand it because it's new to them. In America, Whitney was winning Grammys in the 80s. Run DMC were winning awards. Naughty by Nature won Grammys. Snoop was winning Grammys. You know what I mean? This was in the 90s and the late 80s. So it's hardly surprising that they have an understanding of black music and hip hop music.
Another great legend soul singer died this year as well. Who was it?
Etta James.
That's it, exactly. So I'm saying, why wasn't she included in that whole tribute?
Just a few 5 minutes to remember who earned it one.
No. What I'm saying is that it's never gonna please everyone. That's the point of it.
I agree to you. What I'm saying is they could have tried harder.
I completely agree with Lala. I think it's a real shame. There's so many people have taken inspiration from Whitney, and I feel that the UK should really have just stood up and said, yes, US, Whitney definitely took inspiration from you, and we really want to give you an amazing send-off. Same exactly with Amy. Like, Amy's amazing. You know, I appreciate that it's a massive event to run, and I feel that there just could have been a little bit more.
The Brits are under pressure. They done something, so you got to commemorate them for doing something.
Another thing that jars me, is when like famous or influential people die, and you get these people on Facebook and they're like, nah, you don't actually know Whitney Houston, fam. Nah, when my brethren died, you lot weren't saying nothing. No disrespect to your brethren that died. Rest in peace and condolences. But you have to respect the fact that everybody knows Whitney Houston, and some people were looking up to Whitney Houston. So when these people, like, not just Whitney Houston, but influential people like me, I love Muhammad Ali, boxers, that's my thing. When them guys go, I'm gonna be kind of touched. I don't know him personally, but the influence and the stuff they have over your life, you look into their career, you know about their family, you know when they go, you feel something. You understand? So it's not insensitivity when they don't say anything about your brethren. Maybe they just don't know.
I'm disappointed that Pro Green didn't win, and I say that just as a hip hop fan. I wanted to see someone bring home the award for hip hop in this country. My point with the whole Professor Green thing is, personally, and I'm sure he probably feels the same way, you can't be mad losing an award to Adele. Just as a hip hop fan, I would have loved to have seen a British rapper take home a Brit. In the past 5 years, we've gone from seeing no rappers in the charts ever, having no recognition whatsoever, to seeing people chart, to then seeing people get number ones. Now if we were to see a rapper take home a Brit, I think that would be amazing.
Definitely.
So, as much as I wanted Brits to be nominated underrated, whatever. Professor Green was in that category, and he deserved to be in that category.
That whole representation of UK hip hop in the Brits is very slim anyway, and it was only just squeezed in there a little bit. So it doesn't surprise me that Professor Green didn't win. Would have been nice, and I think he might win one next year. So
I personally,
who won it?
I would have loved
Who won it?
Adele won that category, I think.
I don't think we could question that.
No, you can't argue it. But as a hip hop fan, I would have liked to have seen.
But the kid of it though, can you understand why he didn't?
No, of course I can understand why.
Adele?
If she wins, what are you gonna say? You just have to shrug and be like,
No, of course.
It being nice for hip hop to be recognised, and it's not really too recognised by the Brits, which is a shame. However, I don't think he should be too upset. I'm sure he is. Maybe it's a little bit of a personal thing. It would have been nice if he won, but he didn't. He lost to Adele.
From a perspective of like hip hop in this country, from when there was no hip hop in the mainstream at all.
Yeah.
So for me, if someone like Professor Green was to bring home an award, that's so monumental.
I know, but at the end of the day, remember in life, anything you get has to be on merit. It can't.
Yeah, no, of course.
Really, on merit, he didn't deserve
See, now Snips was talking about how it would have been nice for Professor Green to win over Adele, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it would have been nice, but who deserves it? Right, like, no one's gonna question Adele's victory for that award. It's nice that Professor Green was even nominated because they could have overlooked him as just another hip hop act.
Compared to Adele, like, you know, if I'm Professor Green and Adele's won it, I'm like, he was really out.
Lost to a champion.
Cool, like, I lost to a champion. It's not like I've lost to someone and it's an arguable, like, I know what.
I saw Pro at the after party, and when he told me, he was kind of his demeanor was almost like
within the whole scene, musically, not just hip hop wise, they took it. Then maybe sometimes you'd be like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I can't hate you on that. It wasn't someone's shit. It was someone that you could be like, yeah, they probably deserve it. But again, I don't want to be saying that it's just for selfish reasons. Professor Green should have won it because that's silly. I don't want to look at the world just strictly from my perspective. I understand there's different opinions and thoughts, and people like different things.
I'm not saying that he should have won. I'm just saying it would have been nice as a hip hop fan, and I hope that within the next couple of years, I hope that we can have a hip hop artist.
You know, 19's still in the old ways now.
And take home a
Not trying to compare Adele to Michael Jackson, yeah, but think about how many men that are great singers that lost to Michael Jackson over the reign of his career.
So it's nice that he's getting mentioned on that kind of platform. But let's be real, Adele won the award. How many people lost to Michael Jackson? That man couldn't say nothing.
They just have to raise their hand and say, yo, lost to Michael.
I seen a picture of him he can't even hold them in them things there. And he's skinny like me, so I don't even know how.
One thing I will say about the Brits is that I think the statue's shit. What kind of fucking design is that? I don't know, that's just me. I thought the design was shit. Hey, who knows? Who cares? I don't.
ain't got a bad word to say about the Brits. Because all up in that shit.
Come on, the Brits is really important. At the end of the day, it's the biggest award ceremony.
I know what you were saying off camera.
Don't say these things, baby. You're lucky I loved you, you know.
I'm just saying.
It's the biggest award ceremony within this country, and I feel like they're under a lot of pressure to make sure they produce a good show every single year. And they have been doing it consistently for the past how many years? I done it some time ago, remember Scribs? And we were number one on Channel U for 5 weeks, yeah? We didn't know nothing about TRS, nothing. We were just happy to walk around the street, get like,
That's what our industry is based off. People that are just happy with that.
I'm in awe of people that can do a proper freestyle.
Yeah.
Fucking 8 Mile shit.
That's not real.
That's not real. Has she done the chorus different? Oh, she's amazing. Not as amazing as Jade though.
Stop.
Alright,
I'm gonna let you do your confession.
She's all left me in bare things. You rubbed me out, you know, big man.
Differently.